Ladies and gentlemen, come one, come all, step right up and watch us make this money disappear. Welcome to Football Clowns Anonymous. This is a podcast run by and for NFL football fans, designed for all of you out there who enjoy often questionable takes, analysis, and predictions surrounding all things NFL. My name is Ren Smith. I hope you'll join me in welcoming my co-host, joining us from snowy Buffalo, New York, the one and only Kurtis Pinkney.
Yerp. How's it going, folks? How you doing, Ren?
Hey, it's good to be back in the saddle, sir. We have
Yes,
it's
sir.
been a long time since we recorded. So
It has been. It has been. We've been locked in on some playoff action.
we certainly
Buffalo
have been.
Sabres got your boy locked in. I'm all of a sudden a hockey fan. Just kind of happened overnight.
You moved to
Uh,
Buffalo and
yeah.
the Sabres become relevant out of nowhere.
Hey, bro, we got to take advantage while we can, because who knows how long this will last. But
Yeah, first time in 15 years or something. So yeah, you
yeah,
might as well.
something crazy.
Might be another 15 years. There's
Yeah,
plenty.
yeah,
We were just talking about, it's a shame really how often we have texted about the NFL and all the free agency moves and draft this and
yeah,
trading and head coaches and agreed and disagreed on so many different things and none of those conversations got encapsulated into podcast episodes. So we figured it was time
yeah,
to uh, resurrect ourselves here and see if we can channel some of that energy that we've been locked away
yeah,
for the last several months.
yeah. Um, so one thing that's been on my mind, I sent you a text today.
Oh,
I've been at a conference for the past few days, right? I've been at this AI conference. I've been thinking about AI a lot. Um, I sent you this text, like, bro,
mm,
wouldn't it be
hmm
sweet if we coded up 12 AI agents and had them play in a fantasy football league together with different strategies, and just to see what happens. And I'm sure we'd be betting on this, and oh, I'm placing my bet on this strategy to win it all, and so on and so forth. And your
the RB.
response and
Go ahead.
your response was,
Oh,
well, actually, we need to extrapolate the models to the X degree and so on and so forth, and we don't have enough training data to do so. I was like, bro, first of all, the level of disgust I had for you at that response
this is where
was,
you're going.
I could
This is
not
where
be
you're.
could not be overstated, sir.
Color me surprised. Color me surprised that this is where we're going. This is okay. So
Just
okay. So
just
humor me then. What?
just a magnificent idea. It's just a
Uh,
beautiful idea, and you just
oh,
are negative Nancy. Just you're from
I
Minnesota.
do
All
not.
you're supposed to
I
see are
do
silver
not.
linings, bro.
Uh,
And
okay.
you're over here talking about it's not possible. You got to do X, bro.
I
You
think
don't
you. I
even.
think you. I think you read between the lines on something that wasn't there. What I wanted to do was train it. I'm saying train it on past data because I'd be curious. You don't need it to. You don't need to code it up and do it this year. You could code it up and say, based on preseason rankings from 2023, how would these teams draft? And we've got one AI agent that does a RB heavy strategy, and another one that's I'm the guy that takes Mahomes in the first round, and I'm, these sort of things. It would be really interesting. I think it would be really interesting. I did not have the time for a fully baked response. I was like, I want to see that trained on past data and then send those 12 agents into battle in 2026 is what I was trying to say. It was more support than not. So I think it's interesting. What?
Good save, Ren. Good
I,
save.
I've
Good
been
save,
I've
Ren.
been I've been watching my guy Jesper Wallstat a little bit too much. So I've been doing the best saves I can lately.
Very good.
There's,
Very
there's a
good.
lot of there's there's a lot of playoffs, man.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question. And I
Sure.
know I shouldn't do this. What were you doing in 2015? Where were you at? What was life like in 2015?
Jesus, I don't know. How long ago was that? 10 years ago?
11, spring of 2015. The
I could
last
not.
time, the last time my Minnesota Wild won a playoff series,
Jesus.
and
Yeah.
that
I
was
was just a
on. And
child.
I was a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed first-year graduate student at the University of Colorado, and
Yeah.
that was the last time. So tomorrow, thank you for allowing me to push this one night from yesterday, so I could watch Game 5, where we beat the brakes off of
But
Dallas.
if you win this series, you go on to play the Colorado Avs. I work with a guy who is from Colorado and is an Avs fan. It's taking a lot of strength. A lot of strength.
It's going to take even more strength.
Hey,
If we
bro.
win the series, it's going to
Hey,
take a lot
bro.
of strength for you to keep your
It's
mouth shut.
Bro, it's taking a lot of strength. And this is kind of like this guy is, he knows his stuff, right? So like you
Mm-hmm.
know, he's
You better watch. You
you
better watch
probably
out.
want to be a little bit more professional than not. But bro,
Mm-hmm.
I
You're trying
pray
to give
every
him
day.
that.
Ren,
You,
you've done something to me, sir, because I pray every day, bro.
you're gonna
Every
give
time I
him
see
the.
him, I'm like, oh,
You give him the. You give him the Dan Hurley
the
one
Dan
suit coat off
Hurley,
the
bro.
one suit coat off the shoulder. Hey, that also happened while we were not
Yeah,
recording. So that's made its way into a lot of different
yeah,
conversations.
legendary move by Mr. Hurley.
Mm-hmm. Ultra stare.
Legendary.
Curtis is talking about the stare down at the end of the Elite Eight matchup with Duke, where he basically gets all up in the ref's face and right after
Yeah.
the
We will be working
finish
that segment into our show. Spoiler
somehow.
alert.
Somehow
Because
move
that
over,
was just too priceless.
move over, clown of the week. I think you said it's a Halloween costume coming up for you too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Pinkney family, we're gonna figure it out.
I I believe that. You got to
Yeah,
have like I said.
I'm gonna be coach and my wife's gonna be the ref and we gotta figure out what to do with the baby. Think
I
we
think
said
he's
like
got
the
to be.
basketball or something.
Yeah, I think he's got to be a husky because it's UConn, but
Mm,
that might be tough to pull off as a
yeah.
but he is a dog, so just saying. Uh,
You know,
all right. We've this is good. This
we're
is
going
good.
through
Gotta get.
we're going through the NFC offseason.
I absolutely time to get down to business. So today we're going to discuss each NFL team's offseason moves, do a quick pulse check about how we're feeling going into the 2026 season. And this is based on, I think we just called this offseason moves. In the past, we maybe did one for post draft, one for free agency, one for whatever it is, right? And then the win totals.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, later on this summer, we're going to do formal win total predictions. This is just kind of a pulse check. There's been a lot of turnover and players moving around, and obviously the draft was last week. So when we do those win total predictions, we're going to once again compete for alcohol, and in all likelihood, I will be paying Curtis a nice bottle of whiskey for the third year in a row because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, your boy's undefeated. Let's your boy's undefeated.
And with the
Let's
Browns too, which I think so. Last year we also had a 6-pack on the Browns over under 5.5 wins, and I think this year I don't think we should do the Browns, but we're gonna have to find out whatever team that is and roll the 6-pack back
Yeah.
because there's no way I'm agreeing to a long term. I'm on the Browns win total over.
No.
This is this is a one-way street. Picture a conveyor belt of 6-packs from
Bro,
Colorado to Buffalo.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, sir.
But
I wouldn't do
there's
that
got
to
to be
you.
a team. Gotta find a team for that to be this year. So anyway, as a reminder, we're coming to you on YouTube, Spotify. Leave us a comment, review, send us an email, footballclownsanonymous@gmail.com. We also have a bunch of social media pages that I don't have the links to right here. And at some point, we're going to have a Patreon that's up and active, patreon.com/footballclowns, if you love what we do. So without further ado, NFC. And we're going to start with Curtis's Philadelphia Eagles. I give you the floor,
Man.
sir.
Yeah, man. Fun off season as always. I mean, with Howie Roseman at the helm, there's going to be some fireworks. We've got a lot of receivers in our house right now. More than I could tell you. Like we drafted Mekhi Lemon.
Yep.
We've got Hollywood Brown. We still have AJ Brown technically, though it seems
Yep.
like he's out of there. Devonta Smith, Elijah Moore, Britton Covey, Darius Cooper still. Oh, Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay.
Oh, that's right. Wicks is over too.
Yeah, we got hella folks, bro. And then we just drafted the tight end, who is a pass catching tight end. Um,
To back up Goddard. So yeah.
I I think Brown's got to be out of there, bro. Because there's no way we have these many receivers otherwise.
I think that has to be the reason why you drafted
Yeah,
Mekhi Lemon in the first round. I mean, that news, I think it's like June 1st or some contract
yeah,
deadline or something like that where he's expected to be released on that and traded to, gosh, I
Patriots.
can't remember now. Patriots, thank you.
Yeah,
That's the only reason why
I
you would draft a first round wide receiver with all those other guys there,
I
is if you're going to
heard
get rid of AJ Brown.
I heard that he might fetch a first if he
Hmm.
pulls that off, bro. Howie Roseman's goated. Because I
He's
would probably do
he's
that.
already
I would probably
he's
do
already
that.
got it. Uh,
Because
you
like
know it.
AJ Brown, regardless of level of talent, I don't think we would say that he's raised the level of play of Jalen Hurts. And if a receiver like AJ Brown is not doing that, why are you keeping it like why are you holding such an expensive chess piece when you could flip him for capital and improve elsewhere? And
Mhm.
you know, that feels like a wasted square, if you will.
I would agree, and I mean, in the past or in the recent past, AJ Brown has been kind of I'm not going to liability is maybe not the right word, but he's been a hindrance in terms of attracting unwanted attention off the field, and
Yes.
there's a lot of locker room drama and things that come with him, but they've kept him around, I think, because his talent has, at the very least, matched up with the negative of distraction and things like that. This last
Yep.
year, he did not play as well and had a couple of key drops, especially in that playoff game. And so I think it makes sense to your point to draft a receiver and move on because there's a real chance that he's not ever worth more than he is now. And like you said, he's not really raising the play of the offense as a whole, which needs some help after last year. The offense took a bit of a step back after the Super Bowl season the year before.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, so offense is going to be interesting. Obviously, got a lot of interesting pieces moving around that defense. Eagles are going to be a problem again this year. I think that's probably safe to say. Going to be very curious to see what we do with Hurts. Quick notes about fantasy. Buy low on Saquon? Question mark.
How can he? Oh man, he's still gonna be priced pretty high though, don't you think? I haven't actually looked at
He
the
is.
preseason rankings yet.
I've got sleeper up on my big money league draft board. He is
Hmm.
ADP 19,
That's crazy.
$48 out of a $250 budget.
That has to be a buy low. That's that would be lower. That would be lower than I would put him without looking at it. So I would. I shouldn't be. We shouldn't be going through all this because we're in a league together, and
Uh,
but we do this. We do this for you, the fan who tunes in and
of course, we put each other against each
supports
other.
us. Always,
I mean,
always.
I've got
Yeah,
the
I
same
think you have
question.
to.
I've got the same question about Hertz, because he's going to be
How
pretty
low is he
cheap.
right now? Yeah,
He's about, I think I saw it was like 16 or $19 out of the, let me take a peek, $17.
that's crazy.
Quarterback one, two, three, four, five, six. Uh,
Hmm. I don't
Devonta
know.
Smith is $22.
That's an easy buy
By
low because I mean
like
I think you've got a
I
deep room, but Smith is poised to at least for the first season with Makai Lemon before
yeah,
he would theoretically take over or could possibly take over. You'd think that Devonta Smith is going to be getting 10 targets a game at the beginning of the season, just
I would
because without AJ Brown.
imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's an
Yeah.
easy. I mean, he'd be somebody that maybe he loses his edge throughout the season, but you want to start out the fantasy season hot. So
Yeah. And
that's
and
that's crazy.
if Brown gets moved, that price is going up. But
Hmm.
I think the point maybe is this is an offense we probably expect some points out of. A lot of the main pieces of that offense are priced low-ish relative to what we think their value could be. Something to keep an eye on.
They should regress more. In my view, they should regress a little more towards that Super Bowl season offense.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
was going. They fired their offensive coordinator too, so that should juice things up a little bit. Speaking of
Yeah.
offensive pieces and humming,
Yeah.
the Dallas Cowboys last year had a very nice offense, and they re-signed Javonte Williams on my dynasty team. By the way, very excited about
Mm,
that.
mm,
That was also a buy low. Little did I know at the time, and also then George Pickens as well. So they've locked up some of their pieces and have made some moves on defense too to try to address the Micah Parsons debacle that was at the beginning. Particularly, they signed Rashawn Gary from the Packers as well. So they're trying to make a push here, and I think the pieces are probably there for them to take a step forward from last
yeah.
year as well. Question mark.
Yeah, I mean, they made hella moves on defense. Offense remains pretty much the same. If the defensive moves move them from worst to middling, the Cowboys are probably going to be a problem.
Yep.
Um,
The offense wasn't the problem. So they haven't made
No,
they haven't made a lot of, revolutionary moves there, but honestly,
no. And
run the same
I,
thing back and
yeah,
improve the defense.
I did see that the Pickens did sign the tag, so he's playing on that. But and in theory, since he knows he's playing for a contract, like attitude problems are not going to be a thing. But it's a non-zero, right? Um, yeah. Fantasy wise, by the offense, one thing that does concern me is one of the reasons they were so great last year was because the defense was awful. If the defense is better, like subtract a percentage or two or three
Hmm.
off of your expectations.
The key is to have traded for Javonte Williams in your dynasty league 2 or 3 years ago, so you don't have to buy him
Probably.
high. You can buy him low.
Yeah.
If only somebody could have helped you out with that one. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I still think that Javonte or the offense, maybe the receivers don't do as well if they're controlling games, but honestly, if the defense is helping them become more of a possession type of team, then you would want to favor, still Dak probably and for having his legs, but then Javonte also for being a pass catching back.
Which receiver do you like more
No. I'm gonna tell
for
you.
fantasy? For
Well,
fantasy. For fantasy.
I'm gonna tell you my knee jerk, and I can't be unbiased on this one. George Pickens cost me the guillotine league last year when he was amazing all year, and then he just
Yeah.
randomly put up an absolute stinker in the week 13 or 14 and cost me the guillotine league. So when I talk about how it's exciting for the Cowboys to re-sign George Pickens, it's in the back of my mind that
That's
motherfucker.
you can't forget those.
And I mean, gun to my head, CD Lamb is so good at football. So
Who's the dog?
it's tough to go against him
Yeah.
if I'm picking one team for my or if I'm picking one guy for my, I guess either my real NFL team or my fantasy NFL team, and I can pick them at the same place. It would be CD Lamb still.
Sure.
Yourself.
I had George Pickens, and I very much enjoyed having George Pickens on my team. And for cheaper, I'd probably go in that direction.
For cheaper, I can see it. I'm saying more so as if it's a snake draft or something, yeah, I tend to
I
agree.
mean, same. I mean, CeeDee Lamb's costing 70. George Pickens is at 45.
Well, snake draft
That's
is not an auction draft. I'm saying
I
you
I
got to pick one of
understand.
your.
I
But
I think only in terms of auction draft, bro.
I
I'm
understand.
one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like I've evolved. You know what I'm saying?
I've
Like
evolved as a fantasy.
speaking
How long?
speaking of evolutions, bro. The New York Giants.
Is
Are we
this
con
the final form New York Giants?
are we concerned about the New York Giants? They got some
Um,
support around Dart. They brought in a handful of receivers to play alongside Malik, Darius Slayton. Didn't draft a running back, so what's his name?
Scataboo. Yep.
Scattaboo, excuse me,
I think
is the guy.
it's spelled Scatabo, but I've always heard it
Yeah,
Scataboo. Yeah.
with Tyrone Tracy.
Uh,
They
it
shipped off Dexter Lawrence on defense, but they drafted Arvell Reese, and they've got Thibodeau and some other pieces. It's John
Mhm.
Harbaugh.
It's a crazy thing because we were talking about the defense as being like a top 3 unit last year going into the season, and it never ended up materializing. So
No,
this is a tough one for me because I feel like
yeah,
last year it was one of those like have optimism for the New York Giants, have optimism for them, and they showed flashes, and they still ended up having an atrocious season because it's the New York Giants. Now this year I feel like there's even more reason, and I'm still have this deep seated like tendency to want to just fade them no matter what, no matter how
yeah.
good they're supposed to be. It's a dumpster fire of an organization. That being said, John Harbaugh has got to be a huge upgrade, no matter how you slice it. And then with Dart and Scattaboo and Neighbors all being injured last year, it's really easy to write off the fact that they were terrible for large stretches of the season. And they, beefing up the O line in free agency was a note that I made too. So you're helping protect your quarterback, who has a
Yeah.
tendency to run. Maybe giving him more opportunities to make plays with his legs. So, again, on paper, I can't think anything else other than yes, we should be worried about the New York Giants. But it's just if I'm a betting man, and by the way, I am. is this a is do I just play the like how surprised would we be if the Giants just suck anyways because this is what we've been
Seven and a
watching.
half wins.
Uh, man, it's that's so tough because if it's 5.5, you've got to play the over, and if it's 9.5,
Yeah.
you're like, who the hell set this number? But 7.5 is right. Gosh. And it could be a tough division
Yeah.
too. Also, we sound like a broken record now. We've got the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants, and we're like, the offense is going to be cooking. Are any of these, we're just going to go down the line and say this for
I
all
was
the
just
teams,
thinking
right?
about the defense because I mean once we get to the Commanders, they also made hella defensive moves, bro.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Absolutely. Is that well? I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, I don't know if we spend enough time on the Giants, but we can probably move on here.
Well, yeah,
If you
we
got
got to
anything
touch on
else,
the fantasy for a
oh,
sec.
go ahead. Yep, go
Jackson
for it.
Dart, quarterback 7, $13. Like I would
I
almost prefer that over Hurts, to be honest with you.
I could definitely see that because Dart was using his legs a lot last year. Now with the concussion, do they try to coach him away from doing that a little bit more?
Probably.
I would also love to remind you that you ended up Venmoing me for one of Jackson Dart's performances during the fantasy playoffs, I believe, and so it was really nice to hear you coming around on Jackson Dart. So thanks for that.
I play the fifth, sir. I don't know. I don't recall.
The
I don't
Washington
recall.
Commanders, the Washington Commanders beefed up their defense. I won't. I backed you into corner. I'll let you out.
Trash.
We got all year for those kinds of moments when we're making predictions for games. We still got 13 teams to get to. Washington
Yep.
Commanders. That was my note as well. The defense was horrendous last year, and obviously the
Yeah.
injuries with Jaden Daniels did not do them any favors to keep their offense on the field. Mariota was serviceable as a backup, but obviously you would expect that in theory, law of averages, Daniels is not going to be injured for the majority of this season. They made some moves at defense. Um, are we worried about all four of the teams in the NFC East at this point? Are we? Who are we?
I think we are.
Could
I
it
think
be?
we gotta be.
Could it be the best division in football?
No. The NFC West is gonna be the best division in football, but
I
it'll
was
be
set,
entertaining for
yeah, I
sure.
was I was kind of setting a trap for you. I would have roasted
No.
you if you had said yes,
Nah,
but
nah, nah. Nah, 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 nah.
no,
I'm not that delusional.
there's upside. There's upside on all four of these teams, to be fair. But yeah, I would still think that the among the other three that we just talked about, the Commanders are probably still in the fourth position for me in this division.
I am inclined to agree with you. The offense, I I don't believe in Jaden Daniels as much as other folks, and I don't know why. I don't have a good reason for it, but I don't know. The offense just doesn't like excite me. Like at receiver outside of McLaurin, like I saw they signed De'Ami Brown, Traylon Burks, Van Jefferson. Who else is on that team, man? Like
That's probably it. Yeah,
so yeah,
I'm not super worried about it. And they still have Eckler at running back then too, and yeah,
no, they lost Eckler. It's Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, you know,
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and they brought in Rashad White and Jerome Ford. So that's like that'll be cool, but
Rashad White. Less competition for Irving and Tampa Bay, unless they drafted somebody. Now I'm
they
now I'm
did
doing that.
bring in Larry Tunsil, so that was kind of cool.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean that's for like for fantasy, Daniels is going to be too expensive for me. I mean he's sitting at
Yep.
quarterback 5 ahead of Hurts, only a dollar
That's
more, but
that's
that's
kind of ridiculous that he's ahead of Hurts
no
and Dart. I
no sir,
he that was
no
one of the
thank you.
easier win totals in my mind last year. The Commanders were at 9.5, and it was like the year before they had that magical season basically
Yeah.
where everything went right for them, and they made the NFC Championship game and had the Hail Mary, I think, and was that season if I'm not. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy. It's interesting to see if he can shake off the injury and See what happens with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I just was just about to ask you who's going to win the division, but then I remembered. Stay tuned, fine listeners, for we will eventually do a win totals episode where we also predict the division winners. And this is not the time to make a formal. We could etch it in light pencil, but this is not the time to etch these in stone because we will be competing against each other.
I'll be curious to hear your answer.
I honestly, if you, a gun to my head, I would answer, but I don't know right now.
Yeah.
I
I think that's
this
the right
is
answer. I think that's fair.
the right answer right now is give me some time. Let me watch. Let me follow training camps, OTAs, preseason football. Otherwise, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
On to the Vikings.
On to the NFC North. I don't know what they're. Well, okay, there's plenty to talk about with the Vikings, but I would be happy to spend all my time on Kyler Murray on the Vikings because this is fascinating to me. And the fact that they're going to, I told you this already over text, that they're going to act like there's a competition for quarterback over this offseason. It's going to be absolute cinema. We all know
Yes.
that Kyler Murray is going to be, that is why you bring him in. Oh, we're having a competition because what did you see from JJ McCarthy last year that would make you think like, that Kyler Murray is a former Heisman Trophy winner. He's a former #1 overall pick. This is a dream come true for him. If he puts down the Call of Duty all season and he has that offense to work with, this is a team that could win the division. And I say that with other good teams in the division. We
I
could
agree.
be the 12 or 13 win team again suddenly out of nowhere. Where
I
like
agree.
we had a winning, let's not forget, we had a winning record last year, 9-8, with Max Brosmer starting 2 of the games, Carson Wentz playing with like a broken hand in one of the games, and JJ McCarthy, who showed some flashes but overall was bad. Your thoughts?
I completely agree. I mean, I am excited to see what happens. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of pretty clear cut. I mean, he's certainly had his down seasons in Arizona, but I believe most of those were seasons that he also dealt with injury. So at least there
Yep.
was kind of sort of an excuse every once in a while. But we've also seen, excuse me, we've also seen MVP seasons from him. So you know,
Right. I mean, and
why
so
not? And especially with a Kevin O'Connell offense, why not?
I why not is probably the best summary. Like
Yeah,
things could not go super well, but what's the floor for this team? Like that's what I would ask, right? Like so you upgrade from that disaster quarterback situation last year. You upgrade
yeah,
to a guy with an absurd amount of raw talent. And what's the floor? Is it like the floor might be 8 wins? Like so
yeah,
yeah. In addition, Aaron Jones revising his contract to stick around is good. I don't know if it's
yeah,
confirmed whether Harrison Smith is coming back or not. With the Kyler Murray move, that might make him feel like he wants to play for one more year just to,
yeah.
this is one last ride, but he's an old man. But I don't know, he's such an identity guy that I really hope that he does come back because that defense, we lost Grenard to your Eagles, which is unfortunate,
Yeah.
but
Pain.
the defense and I'll add too, like I really thought Flores was going to get a head coaching job,
I did
considering
too.
the season that they had last year and
Yeah,
the fact that we get him back. Assuming that the defense doesn't regress greatly, this will be his last year probably. If they have another year like that, then he will go to be a head coach somewhere else. So I don't know. For me, it feels kind of like a now or never moment. And also, last thing, probably, maybe not. Jefferson at some point is going to want to trade before he's 35 years old and
yeah.
retired because he's hashtag that guy and is going to want a ring in his, to add to his Super Bowl or to add to his football career. And if he's not going to get it with Minnesota and the quarterback play continues to spiral, he's going to go somewhere else. So we're in the dark.
100%.
So it might
Yeah.
literally be this year or we're in the dark ages.
Yeah, I suspect this is kind of a last hurrah for everybody involved, if I had to guess.
Put it all together, boys. You can do it. And standing in your way is a fantastic division of other teams, including, well, yeah,
Chicago Bears.
in no particular order, but the
No,
reigning NFC North champion Chicago Bears, who did some work on their defense and free agency. They also notably lost DJ Moore to your Buffalo Bills,
that's right.
um, which, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. For me, it feels like a lot of things broke right for them last year. And, they did make some, like I said, they did do some work in free agency. Um,
Do
but
you
I'm,
believe in
I'm
the
curious.
Do you
Go ahead.
believe in the receiving core?
Mm.
Odunze, Luther Burden, Cole Kmet.
I like what I saw from Burden towards the end of the season. He also cost me the championship. Thanks,
Yeah,
Allie. Um,
yeah,
the
tough.
yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Um, gun to my head, no. There's opportunity there, but I don't know. I haven't seen. I want to see those guys turn the corner. If I'm a Bears fan, I want to see those guys turn or take a bigger step
Yeah,
this year a little bit. It seems like kind of projects, and maybe Luther Burden does take a step forward and be the guy. But Odunze's been good. I just don't know that
right.
he is matched up with the expectations for him were so unbelievably sky high that it's hard
Yeah,
to meet
I don't
that.
think he's there yet. Yeah,
No, no, I don't think he's there. But I mean, I wouldn't say he's played poorly. If the expectations coming in for him were low, then one might say that
be
he's
doing fine.
played well. Yeah. So it'd be interesting. I don't. I actually don't know who the fit. Let me see if I can. I'll take a quick peek at that really quick here. If I can find futures here, because
What's
the
that?
I'm kind of curious if the Bears are the favorite again. I don't think they should be. Was my point here.
Mm,
They're not. They're actually a fairly heavy underdog. Lions and Packers plus 180, plus 190.
that
Bears are
makes a lot of
plus
sense to me.
320 to repeat. And would you like a piece of the Vikings at plus 600 to win the NFC North? I would.
Yeah, I
I
like it
would.
better than the that Bears bet, to be honest with you.
Six to one is like, are they going to do it? Maybe not. But 6 to 1?
Kyler Murray to Justin Jefferson, little T.J. Hawkinson work,
Little.
little Jordan Addison
Mm-hmm.
work.
Mm-hmm. Addison's still there. We lost Naylor, but he was a wide receiver 3. Um, yeah. Jones coming back. The defense being what it is. I'm just saying, 6 to 1.
Okay, could be convinced.
I could throw a little. I might. We'll see how the Minnesota Wild series ends up before I decide if I'm gonna shove on that. Um,
You
so
know what?
Bears. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was actually going to jump to the Lions.
Yeah, go. That's what I was gonna do too.
I am so excited to watch a character like Isaiah Pacheco play for a coach like Dan Campbell.
Oh my gosh. I
That
have
is going to be
Pacheco.
must-watch TV.
I have Pacheco down as my main comment on the
Bro,
Lions, and
it's
until
going to
you
be
said that, I
glorious.
didn't. I didn't really think about the 1-2 punch of Gibbs and not Montgomery. The 1-2 punch of Gibbs and Pacheco.
Yeah,
Man, for him,
glorious.
he struggled to be a feature back. I feel like in Kansas City, he was before he got injured. He kind of looked like that for a small period of time, but he kind of struggled following the injury. I think this is perfect for him as a complement to a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs to be the change of pace guy because he runs
Yeah,
violent, and those two can keep each other rested basically by you know running through traffic for several plays while the other guy sits on the bench. Um,
right.
yeah, that kind of energy and fire actually, now that you pointed out, complements Dan Campbell really well.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, otherwise, I don't have any other notable moves. I think the lines were fairly quiet. Um, I mean, Montgomery being traded to the Texans, Jahmyr Gibbs, the first pick overall. What are we thinking?
Oh, you asked me that
Oh,
earlier.
I know, and I'm coming back to it because
Well,
it's either
you
Gibbs or Bijan.
yeah, and Yeah, Bijan. Well, Bijan doesn't have Algier. Didn't they sign somebody though? I'm blanking.
I don't. They did, but it was Brian Robinson.
Okay, so I'm probably on Bijan to be totally honest with you. It's
Yeah,
close though.
no,
Uh,
that
uh,
makes sense, bro.
you asked me that right after they traded Montgomery, and I said
Yeah,
absolutely you're taking Gibbs at number one. But then they brought in Pacheco, and I think he does take a cut. It's not a huge cut. It's not any bigger than the cut that Montgomery was taking,
yeah.
but it doesn't sort of let the floodgate out, or it reins that back in just a little bit and brings it back to kind of what it was
I would
before, which
also
is
be su
fantastic. But
I would be surprised if they trust Pacheco as much as they did Montgomery.
I would at first, but I think he could get there. I think he could get a pretty healthy share of the carries.
We'll see. I I it's not going to be as much as my I don't know what that means or what that looks like, but it's not going to be the same. Like if if Gibbs and Montgomery were 60-40, then they'll probably do a 70-30 with him and Pacheco. Is
That's
my
probably
feeling.
that's fair. It gives you a little more room to Gibbs then, but yeah,
Yeah.
I still think you need that complementary. The way that Gibbs plays football, he needs to he needs to have some snaps
Yeah,
on the
bro,
bench. So
he's
it's
running too damn much, getting
I
too many damn
yeah,
yards, bro.
and
Out here
contact
doing wind
is
sprints.
does a lot of contact too. So yeah, I
Yeah.
um Green Bay Packers seemed to be fairly quiet in free agency as well, which to me just makes me kind of question like why Detroit and Green Bay are just suddenly the heavy favorites to retake this division. But um, you know, the Packers I feel like need to turn a corner soon with Love. I mean they've certainly been good. They're a good football team. I feel like they need to turn a corner here, and losing Rashawn Gary on defense doesn't help. Not you sign Sky Moore, who was just kind of in Kansas City. So
Hmm.
I don't know if they've made enough moves when they feel like they need to kind of circle the wagons and make a push here in that
Hmm.
division soon. And I don't know if I see them doing that this year, but
Yeah.
they could surprise. They could surprise for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't have too many notes on the Packers other than yeah, but I nothing to really add there. I mean, I do for fantasy. I think they become a lot more interesting because I mean, they did lose some receiver work, a little bit of running back work. Um, so it seems to me there's a consolidation of fantasy productivity, if you will, which has always kind of been a reason why I've shied away, at least from the receivers anyway. Josh
Mm-hmm.
Jacobs has always been, that guy. But
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Reed, question mark. Nice
Yeah,
little Jordan Love, Jaden Reed stack would be probably pretty cheap to throw together.
it would be
You
cheap.
know,
That's I think the advantage because that would have a lot of upside. And that was their wide receiver room was so crowded and jumbled, and it was
yeah,
so hard to start a Packers receiver because they were all going to get every single one of them from top to bottom was going to get 4 targets in a game, and you don't know
yeah,
who's going to catch the touchdown, which is obviously helps them and makes it hard to defend them, but yeah, it makes it much harder from a fantasy standpoint.
yeah,
So I like
yeah,
that. I like that take, and I do think that yeah, Jaden Reed. I think Dobbs is gone now too. So yeah, Jaden Reed
yeah.
could be a buy low option,
Interesting. He's interesting.
and Josh Jacobs is
Uh,
still. I had him in my guillotine league that got oh so close. I think I was 1 week out of the money. Ugh, I'm not bitter.
what could have been, sir?
What could have been? What could have been? All
Uh,
these old wounds are coming back out as we're it's the end of April, but all these old wounds are coming back out.
speaking of what could have been, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers no longer have Mike
The
Evans.
the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Evans is gone. He's ring chasing in San Francisco. Um,
Makes sense to me.
yeah, I don't blame him. It could be his last season. Might as
Yeah.
well. This is, by the way, what Justin Jefferson is going to do. So this is what we have to
Yes,
watch out for.
sir. Yes,
Right
sir.
and it's right when he finally had he went due to injury, but he finally broke the 1,000 receiving yard um,
Right.
streak this year.
RIP.
So
Rip.
yeah, I am. I'm interested to see what they end up doing this year as well. You know, they did make a few moves. They re-signed Kate Otten,
Yeah.
signed Kenneth Gainwell's coming in, so that's extra support that they were losing in the wake of losing Rashad White that we talked about or that we quickly mentioned earlier. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Definitely somebody to keep an eye on, Gainwell, because that's pretty huge for Bucky Irving in my opinion. Like that hurts.
it definitely does. And they're the odds-on favorite in the division too. That's what I was just going to look at too. Like I still want to believe in the Bucks to win. I mean, Baker is so much fun to watch. We can't ever ignore that fact that, you know, when it's I think I do want to make that statement. When it's third and long and your team is down by 4 points and there's a minute on the clock, no timeouts, and you're at the 40-yard line, top 5 quarterback that I want
Give
on
me
my
a little
team is
Baker.
Baker. Give
Give me a
some
little Baker.
Top 5. Not number 1, but he's top 5. Like
Yeah.
Josh Allen, Mahomes. It's hard to go against them, but
Give me a little Baker.
I'd take Baker out. I'd probably take
Yeah.
Baker after the two of them. So
Yeah.
just because he's got that mojo, that fire. So he
Yeah.
can definitely get it done. But I don't know. That division is. I know. I like one of my favorite bets I've ever made. Futures bets was inspired by you, sir.
You're welcome.
Bucks plus 300 to win the NFC South. It was 2 years ago. This
Yeah.
year they're heavy favorites, and I can make a case for. Maybe I would have a hard time making a case for the Falcons. We're going to talk about them next, but you're going to make a case for them, and it's going to be funny. But
I'm gonna
I
try.
can make a case. I'm
gonna try.
I know. I can read you like a book, sir. You haven't even said a damn word about the Falcons, and I already know. But the Saints and Panthers are spicy on the division this year too. So, you're Atlanta Falcons, sir, and I'm going to say you're Atlanta Falcons, kind of sarcastically. But
I just want to see what Tua and Drake London do together. That's all. That's all I want to see before I pass judgment.
Are we starting Tua over Penix?
Yes, because I don't think Penix is going to be ready for the start of the season.
Yeah.
So he has to be.
Okay, fair enough.
And like, even if he is, like, he's coming in cold, you know, Tua's going to have a little bit more offseason to practice and so on and so forth. Like, Penix was okay in spurts. Are we really going to believe in a okay in spurts type of quarterback versus a quarterback who led the league in passing one year? Like,
to be clear, if it's me, I'm starting Tua. So I was
100%.
asking that question more out of like, if they're both healthy, do you make that call? Because they invested a lot in Penix, right? They had Cousins and they drafted Penix in the first round at number, I don't know, 8 or 9 or something still, right?
Yeah.
So they want him to pay off, right? And so you bring in Tua, you're kind of paving the way for that to not work out.
If I'm like, if you're asking me, Kurtis or Oracle the GM, yeah, you got to start Penix. Like, if he's healthy, you got to put the young buck in there.
Interesting.
Because if I'm the GM, especially if I'm the GM that drafted Penix.
So what version of the Oracle do we have on this podcast if it's not the Oracle the GM?
The Oracle, I want to see the quarterback that I think will allow for the greatest fantasy production.
I see. So it's more fantasy motivated. I guess I'm just curious if you're not being the GM when we're talking about these things, like if you're approaching it from the fantasy or the armchair quarterback of.
I think Tua gives the Falcons the best chance to win.
I don't disagree with that.
On any given Sunday.
I don't disagree with that at all. But if that's what you feel, then why is that not what the Oracle, the GM, thinks? Because you're trying to save face.
If you drafted Penix and you just drop him like a bad habit for Tua, like that's what? After making the boneheaded move of fucking drafting him after you just guaranteed Kirk Cousins $80 million or whatever it was, $100 million. Like, of course, like you got to try and like make that work.
He looks so good. And he looks so poorly, and he's still getting tens of millions in Vegas. Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, of course. Like,
No, I agree. I'm sorry. You're totally right on all this. I'm leaning into the whole like, wait, why don't you want to give your team the best chance to
Nah,
win?
nah,
But
nah,
yeah,
nah. Nah.
you're trying to make the best defensible move. I understand it because you're thinking about it more from a capital like how
Ren,
much capital have we allocated?
what's crazy is we have not even gotten to the most important question yet.
What's that?
Are we drafting Kyle Pitts?
Okay, Kyle Pitts is on here too. They franchise tagged him. What's he right now in auction?
Oh, Jesus.
I need you to answer that question because
Um,
I'm gonna be honest with you.
four,
I know
$14, but in my big money league, it's 2 points per reception for tight ends. So probably cut that in
I
half
know
or
you
by a
I
third or
know you're
something.
drafting I know you're drafting Kyle Pitts. I know you are.
Mm,
I'm what
I,
is he worth
I
too
might
much
be.
now? Is the hype
No, no,
train
no,
too
no. Trey McBride, bro. Having him on my team last year was damn near an auto win every week because of Trey McBride. I cannot not attempt that again.
poor
It was
quarterback
just too
pot-
much.
potential poor quarterback play in
He was doing
Arizona?
this. He was doing this with the quarterback
That's
that you're trying to call sorry, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, his numbers only increased once Brissett took the helm.
that's good.
Jacoby
It's because he was
Jacoby Brissett
the
was
safety
balling
man.
out, bro.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He was slinging
Hmm.
that shit all over the place, bro. Like,
Hmm.
and Trey McBride was a direct recipient, bro. A touchdown a game was damn near guaranteed. On top of like 8 receptions for 113 yards, bro, it was going bananas. Like,
Will he? Yeah. Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm not asking you. Okay. Let me ask you this. I'm well
if
aware
I
that
don't
Trey
if I
McBride.
don't get McBride,
Well, no, it's not that. It's not that. If I give you the choice between Trey McBride and Kyle Pitts, and you pick Kyle Pitts, you don't deserve to win any fantasy games the
no,
entire
sir.
season. That being
Ah,
said,
no, no, no.
what I'm asking you is, at their value, who's better value at their
Trey McBride.
ranking?
Trey McBride.
My goodness, still, because
You
he's
don't,
because he's
bro.
going to be drafted for a 75
Look
fab.
at look at the fantasy stats that he had, and then look at the next closest tight end, and
Mm,
then look at his stats, and then compare them to
mm,
every player's stats, bro. It
okay.
was I think he damn near lapped the pool for tight end wise. I think he was like I don't I would have to go look it up, bro, but
Note to
it
self:
was it was unfair.
keep increasing the bid on Trey McBride so that Curtis has to spend
It's
half of
worth
his
it, bro.
budget.
Blank check, bro. It's worth it. It's
Blank
worth it,
check.
bro. That boy,
I'm gonna
that
make
boy,
you spend.
that man won my heart.
I'm gonna make you spend every single dollar of your budget, and you're gonna have to play without anybody else. Everybody else is a dollar on your
And
team.
what's crazy is he's that much of a difference maker. I'll still have a chance.
That's crazy.
It's that
That's crazy.
serious. Speaking of having a
How
chance, Carolina Panthers.
the Carolina Panthers won their division last year somehow on some goofy tiebreaker, and they should have beat the Rams until Matthew Stafford said, "I'm going to snatch these motherfuckers' hearts out."
We didn't even talk about them in division winners.
What?
The reigning division winning champions.
Yeah. Plus, they're
We
plus
didn't even
300.
consider them. We didn't even consider them when we were talking about is it Bucks or Falcons. We didn't even talk about the Panthers. Is that disrespectful?
Maybe. I was saying I could make a case for the Saints of the Panthers plus 255 or plus 300 because
Okay.
there's the Panthers. What I liked about what they did last year was, or what I liked is that Bryce Young, obviously number one overall pick, didn't really work out early on, and
Yeah.
then came back and had what somewhat of a renaissance, and they made the playoffs on some goofy tiebreaker, and they had a losing record, and they should, and I'm like, he's gonna play. I just had this feeling he's gonna play well in this game because there's been so much hype and for years building up to this. This is Bryce Young's first playoff game. We forget this stuff because 3 years ago Bryce Young, we had him on the Heisman pedestal as being the number one overall pick. And like this is where he needs to show everybody, hey, this is why I was supposed to be ranked where I was, and he played fantastic. I
Yeah.
do think they have a chance. I do think they have a chance to repeat in a division where you have question marks at quarter, or you have question marks for how the quarterback situation is going to work in Atlanta. the Saints were supposed to suck last year. They didn't suck, so maybe they'll be good this year. Do we believe in them to win the division? And then the Bucks, they kind of fell apart last year. They lost Mike Evans, so I don't know. At plus 310 to win the division again, I don't know. I don't hate it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, they'll be interesting. I want them to prove it again. That's I think where I sit with the Panthers. Show me again. Then I'll believe you. I'll take you serious. But until
To,
then, I don't know. It's
to
hard
me,
for me
it's
to
not
just get
this.
past that. Yeah.
To me, it's not the season, the regular season that they had. It's that fire that they had in that playoff game where they almost beat the Rams. Like that.
And
That to
that's
me is where
very
I
fair.
feel like. That's to me where I feel like I was like, oh wait, like actually they might be all right. I mean, they're not
Yeah.
fantastic. They didn't win. They had a losing record, right? But it was that game of like they actually showed signs of
Yeah.
life. And I still
They did.
remember. I still remember how. Did you see Hazel for a second
Yeah, I
there?
did.
She's trying
Yeah,
to
I
get
did.
up. Yeah, I got a damn cat trying to get up and starving for attention now that the kids are in bed.
Hmm.
Um, the yeah, the only thing I have on them is that they made some defensive signings in free agency. So maybe they're like, again they got a young receiving core. She just did it again. Sorry.
Yeah.
They got a
Yeah.
young receiving core. You know, Rico Dowdle played kind of out of his mind for periods of time last year. I
Except
don't know.
they
I
they
don't.
got they shipped him off.
They did ship off Rico Dowdle. That's a good point. Yep. So actually, yeah, who are they running at? Who are they running at running back?
Chuba Hubbard, I think, is
Interesting.
got to be the one.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard,
Um,
Jonathan Brooks. Oh, Jonathan Brooks is supposed to supposed to be that guy at some point, but
yeah,
and they still have Trevor Etienne on their team, who is again supposed to be that guy. But
sure.
yeah, Leggett
Yeah,
and T Mac and sprinkle a little Jalen Coker in there.
yeah.
Um, yeah, they've got help for.
Sh Show me again.
I,
Show
I
me
get
again,
it.
sir. And we can
I
have
get
this
it.
conversation again next year.
I
Um,
I, I agree.
yeah. I do feel more warm fuzzies for the Saints, though. Signing Travis, apparently Achan is how you spell his name or pronounce his name. That's what I've come to find out. The
Hmm.
running back formerly known as ETN.
Oh, wait, what? Did he change his name? Now I'm confused.
Apparently his name is pronounced Achan
Interesting.
as opposed to ETN.
ETN. Interesting. I did not know that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know who Travis Etienne is. I don't know
Yes.
who. You confused me there for a second.
Yes.
Interesting. I will pay attention to that pronunciation going on,
Yeah.
going forward. I I think it's the receiving core for
Yeah.
them, and drafting a wide receiver, Jordan Tyson at number 8, and then another wide receiver in the fourth, and then still having
Yeah.
Chris Olave. So
Yeah.
giving help and weapons to Tyler Shuck, and then like you said, yeah, the addition at running back. I'm not going to try to say his name now. Now you've made me self conscious about how I say his name. Um,
Understandable.
yes,
They also still have Alvin Kamara. How does that make us feel?
I've been kind of out on Kamara for the last year or two, probably just due to his age and
For sure.
concern. Um, I maybe that's just kind of a negative
But
Nancy
like,
approach, but
how do we like you can't just like completely bench him though, right? Like he's
no,
still got to have a role, but what does that role look like? Is it
he's
going to be
a
like a 60-40,
he probably
70-30?
good change of pace back. I mean, we've seen it from him before, and I don't
Yeah.
think he's not built for a full workload anymore, but um,
Yeah.
he's got that veteran vision,
Is he a
and
is
if
he a value in fantasy?
probably as a buy low, probably as let me say a better fantasy
It
term,
has to be a PPR though.
as a deep bench stash, like
Yeah.
an injury handcuff,
Running
because
back 3 or 4.
there's a world where I mean, and that's probably true for so many different running backs on so many different teams. You got to pick one, but you got to have somebody on your team deeper on your bench that's like one injury away from being like RB1,
Yeah.
like a fantasy RB1.
I agree.
Not just being a starting running back on the team, but like it's the Algier from the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
Bijan goes down, Algier's getting 28 touches a game. There's no right, or like Charbonnet for a long time with Kenneth Walker, um,
Yeah.
which he's gone now by the way too. But we're getting ahead of
Yes.
ourselves. Yeah, I could. The case for the Saints is there, and that's what would concern me more, and why I would say I probably like them more than the Panthers this
Yeah,
year.
definitely.
And it's this
100%.
one. This division is gonna, we have our whiskey bet. This division is gonna hurt to make a pick on.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
It's basically what the AFC South was. I think Jags versus whatever you did.
I think I had the Texans to run it
Texans.
back, but I
Yeah. Yeah.
which was not the play.
Yeah. I suspect the NFC West will also be another such division, sir.
Oh,
Trying to pick a winner here.
do
Um, let's
no,
let's go ahead
I
and
Hank,
save the
let me
best for
just
last, if you will.
I
Okay, go
agree with
ahead.
that. Let me just make one quick big picture statement. There has not
Yeah.
been a division that we've talked about so far that I'm feeling pretty confident about who's going to win it. I'm just going to say that. You're like, this would be the
That's-
NFC West. No, no, no. Look at the NFC East again. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's look
Yeah.
at the NFC North again. What are we doing here? Now the
Uh,
South is the same thing. So, and the West is spicy meatball. Last year with I think it was 3 13-win teams, and then the Cardinals who got the number 3 overall pick, and they drafted a Jeremiah Love, an extra running back, when they already have James Conner on their team and they already signed Tyler Algier. And is this a take the best player available? Sure, but also does this actually help you win games
Especially
right
with where
now?
the team rebuild is, it's unfortunate. I feel bad for the kid because all the press around him is how he was a terrible pick for the Cardinals because of team construction and so
Hmm.
on and so forth. Like everybody always prefaces it with like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but this was the dumbest move the Cardinals could ever make, and so on and so
Right.
forth, and blah
This
blah
the
blah.
story the story's not even about him anymore, right? It's just about the
No,
the the GM
yeah,
or the front office blunder, right?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they guaranteed 50 million to a position that doesn't even matter. Like, it's like,
I, yeah, this is a tricky one because I mean I agree with that press, to be totally honest with you. I was like, wait a
I
second,
do
what did
too.
they do? It's like
Yeah,
you've got a project at quarterback. You got Brissett, and sure he was slinging it around, but is he going to win you a Super Bowl? No. They did draft I think it's Carson
card.
Beck in the
Yeah,
Carson Beck in the first, or the sorry, pick 1 round 3. They drafted Carson Beck. So that could be a longer term answer. He's got Marvin Harrison Jr. to throw to. He's not going to have any trouble finding somebody to run the football because they've got, so many damn running backs on that team
yeah,
now. But yeah, you have to. I agree with you. That's an interesting take, that to feel bad for him, because nobody ever wants to talk about how much of an impact he's going to make. It's just
yeah,
how the Cardinals screwed that one up.
yeah.
Um, there's other players. I mean, you maybe don't want to draft because Marvin Harrison Jr. was 2 years ago was a number 4 pick. So do you want to just make another, like, what is it? I think it's Carnell Tate for the Titans, if I didn't get that name wrong. Yeah, Carnell Tate
Yeah.
was taken at number 4. So he's available, right? But why take 2 top 4 wide receivers when you don't have a quarterback? So it's the same, like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
You probably want to draft Arvell Reese at 3 instead. Get some help
Probably.
on the defense, but they've got Jordan Love or Jeremiah Love, excuse me. He's going to be a dog. They added a little bit of help at receiver, Kendrick Bourne, Devin Duvernay. Um, Obviously lost Kyler Murray. I'm gonna be honest on the offense. I think a lot of the Cardinals are going to be priced cheap. I'm taking dart throws all over the place. You already know how I feel about Trey McBride. Jeremiah Love's probably going to be a little expensive for my blood, but at the receivers, if I don't end up with McBride, especially, I'd take a dart throw at Mike Wilson. I'd take a peek at
Yep.
Marvin Harrison just to see what's going on.
I
Uh, yeah.
I agree. They also their new head. I mean, they fired their head coach too, and Mike LaFleur, who's the Rams offensive coordinator. He is now their head
hmm
coach too. So now you have you have all these weapons. Whether it was the right pick or not is another question, but you have all these weapons on your team.
Yeah.
Why not? Right? Why not?
Yeah.
They have a chance to compete in these division games, despite how good this division is supposed to be. So
Yeah, definitely.
and speaking of which, speaking of NFC West and weird draft picks, because the Rams are getting a lot of negative press as well for drafting Ty Simpson. I think it was number 13.
Yeah.
They need they're kind of a Super Bowl or bust kind of team. Also, with Stafford getting old, you draft Stafford's replacement. I mean, sure, you're helping yourself out long term here, but does that get you a Super Bowl this year? It
I would have
doesn't seem to.
preferred no, yeah, I would have preferred a pick for a win now type of pick, but maybe they didn't believe that existed where they were. Maybe they felt that doing a non-Rams thing and being a little bit more conservative or long-term thinking with draft capital was on their brain for whatever reason.
That didn't get
I
them that didn't get them that Super Bowl 6 years ago or whatever
no,
it was,
no, it
right?
did
That
not.
kind of thinking, it was sell the farm,
And with
what's that their
the
second
yeah, with the age and construction of the roster, like I would have thought a win now mentality would have probably been the pervasive thinking, but again, who's to say what went on in that draft room? I think I would probably side with that. Didn't make too much sense to me, but that front office, that organization has proven to be much smarter than I am. So, do we give them the benefit of the doubt? Question mark. I
they
don't
have
know.
more they have more Super Bowls than Curtis Pinkney does.
They do. They do.
So,
Um,
but also everybody else in the world thinks that they are a GM as well when they make these statements about how it was the wrong call.
yeah.
If he turns out to be the quarterback of the future, all of this is very easy to push to the side and say we were wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after the last few years of yeah, sure, you're going to hit on some of these quarterbacks. You're also going to miss on a lot of them too. And I feel like I heard, you don't quote me on this, but I feel like I heard Ty Simpson started like a frighteningly low number of games in college. He looked great in those games, but
Yeah.
he is not really tested over a
Yeah.
long sample size of data. So that makes it even more like
He's
nerve
got a lot of
wracking.
red
So
flags for my taste.
your boy Makai Lemon would have still been there, for example. I mean, there were other options too. People who
Yeah.
follow these
But
college teams would be able to say more.
the
Oh,
Rams did beef up on defense quite a bit.
McDuffie from the Chiefs is one note that I have. That's a
Yeah.
big signing.
They also picked up Jalen Watson, not quite as formidable, but a solid corner. Corner was somewhere they lost in the playoff, was the reason they lost in the playoffs. So they went ahead and fixed that. The defensive front is still respectable. I think the Rams, just all around, are probably going to be a pretty solid unit again this year.
I don't see any reason why not. Could this be
Yeah,
the year for Blake Corum? Sorry, I'm motivated by selfish dynasty interest, but
you never know, sir. You never
never
know.
know. I tend to agree. They will be a problem. The problem is it's just such a tough division, which now
Yeah,
features Mike Evans on the San Francisco 49ers. So
very good.
this will be a very interesting
Resign
there
Trent
too.
Williams.
I was going to say the 49ers were busy. Seemed like they were fairly busy here in free
Yeah,
agency. So they've, not only Mike Evans, but making some big moves on the defensive side of the ball. And yeah, I
yeah,
don't see any reason why they shouldn't run it back too.
yeah. I don't have many notes on them. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see Purdy to Evans. That's going to be fun. Um, Especially since George Kittle, he's I don't know when he's expected back, but it's not going to be soon. I would guess not in the first 6 weeks, but I
No,
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's right. Yeah,
Um,
Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, they signed Christian Kirk as well. So,
yeah,
um, and then George Kittle whenever he comes back.
yeah. They re-signed Trent Williams, so they're good on the left side. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean they lost Jawan Jennings, but that's palatable. You could tolerate that. Brandon
How
Ayuk has never been there.
is that?
Well, not recently, in fairness, I guess.
I still remember when you were drafting in our living room all those years ago, and you were really excited about Brandon Ayuk and told us we were sleeping on Brandon Ayuk, and
What's crazy
we
is
were
I was
all
right, and I still was wrong. Like, I don't know how that was possible.
because you're just you are snake bitten in this league that you run. That is just the bottom. That is just the bottom line, sir. Don't
It's
know,
unfortunate.
but the big money league has been friendly to you, so
It
that's
has been.
it. These things find a way to make up for
It's all about
themselves, you know.
balance. Life's all about balance, man. That's all it is.
Absolutely. And speaking of things that are not in balance, the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl last year. They're our last team here to round out the NFC. They
Yeah.
gave JSN the stupid bag,
The
which is
stupid bag. That was
which is
note number one, bro. I was like, yo.
which how can you not though? Like
Yeah,
he was unguardable all last year. He's a big part of the reason why they won the Super Bowl. Like
bro. He's that guy.
yes, yeah, he is. So
Period.
that's it. There's
Like,
nothing else.
period.
There's nothing else to say on him.
Yeah.
He's gonna run it back. Yeah, it looks like yeah, signed Emmanuel Wilson. I think from that would have been from the Packers as well. So
Uh,
that's
I
more.
will be drafting Emmanuel Wilson every league that I am in.
Thanks for the tip, but
Just hear me now, sir, because
I get it.
Charbonnet's coming off the ACL.
Yep.
I don't know who the backup is, but he's not nicer than Wilson. Wilson's going to be a starter for 4 weeks, five
Yeah.
weeks, 6 weeks.
Super Bowl MVP got traded, which is
Yeah.
crazy because there was no real clear-cut Super Bowl MVP, and I was okay. I don't know if I said this out loud on the podcast before we did the Super Bowl. I did throw a little sprinkle on Cooper Kupp Super Bowl MVP, 80-1. He led the team in receiving. JSN was absent in the Super Bowl. He led the team in receiving, and he had a target in the end zone. And if he had caught that target, I would have cashed
That
in
would have been
80
the
to
one.
1.
That
And
would
it
have
was
been the
just
one.
because Walker had a touchdown called back due to a holding call, had himself a pretty nice game, didn't get in the end zone, and
Yeah.
didn't feel like they could give it to Darnold. I'm so disgusted by that. Anyway, I had to get that out there. But then you give the Super Bowl MVP to Walker, and then it's like, okay, we'll see you later. Thanks for all your time. We're gonna go with an injured Charbonnet. That's
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel bad for Walker. He got himself a nice bag too. So with if you were ever going to get traded to a team, I wouldn't mind going to play for the Chiefs.
no, I would say
Yeah.
it's a good
Playing
situation for
playing
him.
for Coach Reed. Yeah. But yeah, I
And
mean, Seahawks gonna be fun to watch again. I don't really have any reason to suspect not.
I would say regression only because they kind of that feels like the ceiling for them, but I also was wrong, so wrong about them last year. So
I don't think anybody predicted the Seahawks were going to do that. Like, think about how many folks predicted last year a Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl.
anybody that did was out of their fucking mind.
No fucking way, bro. Like, no way. So, yeah, I think it's probably safe to say they regressed in a backwards fashion, but by a lot?
Probably not by a lot. The
Probably
only
not.
no, I mean the division's gonna be tough again. So that's
Yeah.
like, some of those division games. I remember that. Gosh, where were we? Oh, we were in Minnesota. That comeback win against the Rams, the
Yeah.
overtime, the OT thriller. Man,
Yeah.
it's like they're here to party. That was the
Yeah.
moment where I'm like, they're gonna crack. It's Sam Darnold in a big game, and he's playing the Rams. It's just wrong. But those are the games that there were a handful of those. That's like, they might not all go the Seahawks
They
way
might
this
be for
time.
real.
I
Facts,
know.
but it was also
No,
very
I know.
much a they might be for real.
I had them and the Patriots at their under and win totals. I think they were both at 8.5, and they both made the Super Bowl.
Mm.
And the rest is history. Sam
Yeah.
Darnold won a Super Bowl. He was in that vaunted 2018, I think it's 2018 draft class with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, I think, and all of these other guys
Yeah.
that have still not won Super Bowls, and Sam Darnold got it done.
Have yourself a day, sir.
Absolutely. And we got through the NFC, so that's good. We'll come back next time and do the AFC. And obviously stay tuned because at some point later on in the offseason, we're going to do a fantasy preview episode. We're going to do the win totals prediction. Other things I'm not thinking about. But yeah,
Clown of the off season is coming up next episode.
absolutely.
It's an easy one for those following along with the off season news.
You're not going to want to
There's
miss how Kurtis
clear-cut winner.
describes. I don't disagree.
Adultery.
In fact, you just couldn't wait. You just couldn't keep it in for next week. You just got to get that one out there, huh? Yep. Oh my gosh. Well done, sir. Kurtis will give a more comprehensive description of what he means. I may not even submit a clown of the off season because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to compete. What do I pick a team? Like, come on, crazy.
Yeah.
So with that, good luck to all of you. Better luck to us for our next trick. Listen in next time when we will call ourselves clowns. For everything that we just said, I'm Ren Smith. He's Kurtis Pinkney. Thanks for listening to Football Clowns Anonymous, and I hope you'll join our circus again.